Super Mario Galaxy was one of the most creative Mario games that has ever been released, and we have the Galaxies to thank for that because of how different and creative they are to make them so much more unique than other Mario games, so I wanted to rank them all. And I plan to do this with Mario Galaxy 2 as well, but before we get on with the video, the reason this video took stupidly long to make was because when I was making the video, getting footage, I realized there was one galaxy I couldn't access because it requires you to 100% the game 2 times, which I've only ever done once. So I had to do it all over again as Luigi just so I could make this video. Sorry it took forever, but now let's get on with the list. My list is already very controversial as we start off with the Dreadnought Galaxy, but I hate it with a passion. This galaxy, you go and infiltrate a ship. On paper it sounds cool, almost like you see a baddie with a fatty, but then you see the galaxy and you hate it as if that baddie turns around and you find out that she's a ginger. That's what this galaxy is. It absolutely sucks. Half the time you're not even navigating the ship, you're just going on random platforms and defeating enemies so then you can finally go inside. And in the inside, it's super bare bones and boring. I hate this galaxy, so that's why it's at the bottom of my list. This next galaxy is the Boy Base Galaxy, and it's similar to the Dreadnought Galaxy. You go out and infiltrate a base, but this one's slightly better as you actually navigate the base, but you just climb a tower and that's pretty much all this galaxy is. But before you can go, you have to go underwater and blow up a chain to lower its walls to make it climbable. It's a neat idea, but it's not really that fun. This next galaxy is the Grand Finale Galaxy, and I don't even know why it's classified as a galaxy. This is the galaxy that I needed to unlock that made this video take forever to make, and it's super boring. The whole thing is just the first level in the game before you go into space and all that, except now you have to collect 100 purple coins. Yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. The purple coin stars in this game is one of the main reasons why 100%ing this game was so annoying, and the grand prize for getting all 120 stars 2 times is just another purple coin star. Worst 100% completion reward ever. This next galaxy is the Matter Splatter Galaxy, and there isn't really anything too bad about it. It's just a super slow pace, and you kind of just wait for stuff to happen. I don't really like it, but it's pretty creative as you have drops splattering to make floors, but the rest just kind of sucks as you just wait around. But the worst part is the fact that you have to use the mushroom spring thing, which is super annoying to have to use, which just makes the galaxy much worse than it already is. This galaxy is the Sling Pod Galaxy, and it's extremely short as you just launch from a few spiderwebs to make your way to the star, but your swings have to be like super precise, which made this galaxy actually pretty fun. Kinda, not like very fun, but just a smidge. But what makes them precise is the camera angle that makes it more hard, and if it's not super perfect, you will either miss the next web or you'll get hit from a bomb or a wall. Well, this galaxy is lame. Snowcap Galaxy. You go around trying to catch 3 bunnies in a set amount of time, but they hide in snow and other stuff. I don't understand Nintendo's obsession with Mario having to catch some bunnies. In almost every single Mario game ever, it's kinda weird. This galaxy, the Rolling Gizmos Galaxy, is stupidly difficult and not fun. It's creative as you have to be precise while rolling the ball around, but the motion controls. It ruins the entire galaxy in what could have been a fun galaxy to a painful, miserable one. Screw this galaxy. But you go around gears and do a lot of waiting, trying to wait for a good moment to move forward, but sitting still with motion controls can be a pretty annoying thing to do. Rolling Greens Galaxy is very similar to Rolling Gizmos, but it's much easier as it's actually kind of fun. And again, you go around rolling a ball, but it's better as you have more space to do it, so it becomes more enjoyable. And you don't have to wait around, making it all the more enjoyable. Bubble Blast Galaxy. This galaxy is very creative, and I want to put it higher, but they made it in a way harder than it should be. This galaxy has 5 pipes when taking you to a little challenge, where you're a bubble and you have to get a star piece to make a launch star. And the challenges can be kinda hard, but they're fun. But the turn off is the fact that there are no checkpoints. And I like I said, these challenges aren't easy and you will die very easily. And once you do that, there's another section which is super hard, and if you die at any time, even during this section, you go to the very beginning of the level, but I will say it is pretty creative. The Bubble Breeze Galaxy is up, and it's similar to the Bubble Blast Galaxy. Super similar, in fact. You, again, have to get little chips to get a launch star, but now there's poison and walls instead of lightning. But the good part is that there's checkpoints, but you can actually touch the walls this time, so that's nice. And it's just overall more fun. But yeah, they're pretty much the same thing, so let's move on. The Drip Drop Galaxy is up, and it's pretty dumb. All you do is swim with some shells and you kill 3 eels. Yup, that's it. That's all it is. But at least it's kind of fun and not impossible to beat. And you also have to avoid auto-locking missiles, but that's literally all there is to do here. The Big Mouth Galaxy is super short. All it is you're on a big rock fish thing and have to go inside it and build a launch star by swimming for some pieces to make it. To get a golden shell so you can go and free Captain Toad. That may sound like a lot, but it really isn't. You can beat this in about 2 minutes. Oh, but you can beat it in 1 because in the water area, instead of just building a launch star, you can just wall jump to the other section without the launch star, which was supposed to help you up there. So you can beat it in almost no time at all. Battle Rock Galaxy is basically what Dreadnought Galaxy should have been. It's very similar as you traverse little areas to get inside a big base, but here you actually have cool sections to get inside. And here you actually blow up the base instead of just going through it. The sections to get inside weren't painful to play as well, which is nice. The Deep Dark Galaxy. I was pretty conflicted on where to put this, as I don't really like it too much because it's almost entirely a water level, which is the biggest issue, but it does have some cool things about it. For starters, exploring a deep cave is pretty fun, and going to find a shipwreck and find a pirate Captain Kamek is always fun, but almost all the other parts about this galaxy suck, which is of course the part where you swim around, and it's super annoying, but overall, it's not too bad. The Gateway Galaxy is just the intro to this game, basically showing you how this game is going to play out, and you also catch bunnies for the 10 millionth time, and you go through sections to save the main source of Bowser's power. It's pretty short, but it's fun, and not miserable to go through, and some of the sections are pretty decent, like killing enemies to save Lumas, and going through a factory to get a grand star. And the second star here, which you get later in the game, is pretty cool too. Another short galaxy, the Honeyclimb Galaxy. Here you play as a bee and climb mountains of honeycomb to make your way to the star, and eventually there'll be hazards to avoid so it doesn't knock you off the honeycomb. It's short but sweet, and creative, which is all we can really ask for. The Flip Switch Galaxy is super short. All you do is go around a block and paint the world yellow, trying to avoid some obstacles, and not get ripped apart by a black hole. It's kind of fun, but there's literally nothing else to do here, so it's kind of a waste. The Hurry Scurry Galaxy. Man, I put it up too high, but it's kind of cool as the whole place is just disappearing platforms that will break and you can fall through with a black hole inside. So you have to get every music note without ruining your path so you can destroy the dang thing so you can fall through it and nab your star. It's pretty cool. Now we have the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy, and all the galaxy is you ride around on a stingray, and you have to try not to fall off the water string thing, which is what the galaxy is, and make it to the end in a set amount of time to get the highest score to nab your star. It's pretty short, but I love it. Next up is the Loop-de-Swoop Galaxy. This is the exact same thing as the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy, except now the turns are much sharper, making it more challenging, and there is a massive loop you go off of with a big jump at the end of the level. These two galaxies can be changed around, it's just whether you prefer easy over hard, but this one's better as I just find it more enjoyable. The Sweet Sweet Galaxy is up, and it's pretty basic idea of a galaxy. You jump across platforms that are like whipping cream or frosting, and they have holes, and they move pretty fast. You have to jump from one panel of these things to another. There's also lightning stuff to avoid, but eventually you'll make it to a giant cake and get your star. The Sand Spiral Galaxy is up, and it's pretty cool. At the start of the level, you're given a choice between playing as a boo or a bee, both of which have the ability to fly, and you need to get through a cave full of sand. But depending on what you play as will give you different hazards to avoid. If you play as a ghost, you need to avoid the light, as will turn into Mario, and you'll die from the quicksand. Or as a bee, you need to avoid the water cannons, else will turn you into a human, and you'll die of quicksand. Once you get out of this section, you're have to run across these moving rock things super fast and make it to a super small moon. It's a pretty fun galaxy. Now we have Boo's Boneyard Galaxy, and what you do here is you find a Boo wearing some headgear and wants the Power Star just like you do, but he says he'll race you for it, so you turn into a Boo and have to race down to the bottom of this weird place. But the other Boo is much faster than you, so you have to cut corners by turning invisible or activating fans to push you toward the end of faster than him, or just take basic shortcuts. It's pretty creative and fun. The Bonefin Galaxy is here, and it's just a galaxy where you fight a boss, but it's a pretty cool one, and you're in a big pot of water and have to grab a shell to throw at a skeleton shark thing. Eventually he will send out babies that will chase you. He takes a long time to kill as he takes like 6 hits until he dies, but it's still a cool small galaxy. Now we have our first big boss and really important galaxy, Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor. It's a big flaming ball that you have to maneuver to reach Bowser Jr., who will send out a new form of King Caliente, a boss you would fight earlier, but now he is much harder as for one, the floor sinks if you stand on it too long, and he will spit out 3 fireballs at once instead of just 1. But he also has weird baby fireballs now. It's a pretty cool fight. Other than the Gateway Galaxy, the Good Egg Galaxy, which is up, acts more like the Introduction Galaxy here. It has some good little places here that are fun to explore, and show you that some areas are going to be split and that you can go into other sides of planets, and you fight your first boss here, Dino Piranha, which is a pretty fun boss, as you slam its tail, which I think has a coconut on it, and it will go back and hit his head. It's a pretty good start to Super Mario Galaxy, and it's basically the first galaxy you go to. Another star reactor, a big boss galaxy is up, and it's Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor, and this one is one of the coolest boss fights in the game as you climb a massive robot like the Shadow of the Colossus and have to make it to the top of the machine to lure bullet bills to blow up the main source of the robot, which happens to be Grand Star. It's a super fun boss fight and just a good galaxy in general. The Space Junk Galaxy is exactly what it sounds like. It's all separated into separate parts where you go around random pieces of junk floating around from one place to another, or flinging yourself there with a spider web. And you do what Mario always does, basic platforming, but here you fight a pretty fun boss, a massive spider. You run into this big circle with the spider in the middle and have to get around him, so you can hop in a web and fling yourself to his butt, and that will make him flip around. You have to pop all the zits on his back, which is disgusting. Pretty gross, dude. It's a fun boss fight, but it's a fun galaxy. Another big boss galaxy, Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. It's a pretty short galaxy, but you go around from an airship to airship, defeating enemies to make your way to the big bad airship, where Bowser Jr. is hiding, and the fight is pretty fun. Kamex will spawn trying to kill you, and Bowser Jr. will be flying on his small ship shooting bombs at you, and you have to take Koopa shells to throw them at him. It'll eventually get pretty intense, and it's super fun. The Gusty Garden Galaxy. Most people would put it higher, but not for me. But I will admit this galaxy has some pretty good music, but you go around from gardens, flying from these dandelions, to make your way to another garden and kill some piranha plants to swing from vines. And also climb some apples with huge worms sticking out of it. Weird, but you also have another boss fight here, a giant Monty Mole. And it's pretty fun as you have to slam the ground when he pokes his head out so you can hit him. This galaxy is pretty solid. We have our first Bowser Galaxy, Bowser's Star Reactor. It's pretty basic as you have typical Bowser stuff like avoiding a bunch of fire, thwomps the usual, but now he has some weird gravity platform bridge things. Towards the end, when you make it to Bowser, you have stairs that you climb, and Bowser will spit meteors to destroy your path. And the fight with him is pretty fun too, as he will jump around and make shockwaves to hit you, or he will dive into you. But when he does this, you have to make him hit these weird lava things, so that he'll burn his tail, so you can run around and you can hit him. It's a pretty fun galaxy. Now we have Bowser's Dark Matter Plan, and this is so much more creative than his last galaxy. This time there's weird anti-gravity machine things that will control when Mario can stand. So you have to go on specific parts of these oddly shaped moving platforms, so then when the gravity switches you won't die. But some parts when you do move you will also die, so you have to be careful. And the Bowser fight here is pretty much the same, but he's a bit more challenging and will also spit fire now. It's a pretty good galaxy. The Bowser Galaxy Reactor. This is the best Bowser Galaxy out of all of them because of how creative and fun it is. Right at the beginning you have to climb some tower, but they're like gravity circles. I don't know what they're called, but they make you run on the walls when you need to try not to fall out of them or you'll die. And you have some parts where you run along disappearing platforms and have to avoid fire. On paper it sounds lame, but it's actually a really fun section. And you have to go across some quicksand sections and then ride a fire circle thing where you run along the walls, ceiling, everywhere. And you have to avoid bullet bills. And obviously the best part is where you fight one of the greatest Bowser battles ever made in any Mario game. As one part, he turns into a ball and you have to hit his weak points. He will flip around, spawning tons of shockwaves, and then he'll roll around on a spiky ball and you have to hit these weird plant things at him. It just goes on and on and on. And it's such an amazing galaxy, and that's why I love it so much. Finally, we're getting into the bigger galaxies, and we start off with the Seaside Galaxy. This galaxy is basically just a massive ring of water with land and towers all around it. Most of the galaxy is just surfing with a shell, going through rings, but going on the land and climbing towers on massive trees is a lot of fun. It's overall super short, so there's not too much to say here, but it's still a fun galaxy. You should definitely play it yourself. Ah yeah, now we're starting to get into the real bangers, and what better way to start off with the Dusty Dune Galaxy. Most desert levels in Mario games suck giant juicy balls, but this one is amazing. You go around and fly with tornadoes, and defying the law of physics, or Newton's law, however you want to say it. Some nerds in my science class would get pissed if I say it the wrong way, but Mario's arms just do this for some reason. And the best part is exploring ancient ruins, and climbing this tower is much funner than it should be. Seriously, I don't know why I love this galaxy so much. It's literally super basic, but it's so much fun. The Toy Time Galaxy is probably one of the most creative in the entire game. For starters, it's based around defying gravity and built around children's toys. Seriously, gravity is screwed up here, because it's all controlled on how the toy aims, like their arrows or whatever, and maneuver things. You have to unscrew the toys and destroy them, so you can advance in the level. And the enemies here are toy versions of Koopas, which I thought was kind of cool, and you also use the spring mushroom to bounce around. It's kind of annoying to use, but it's still kind of creative, and by far the best part is going to a giant Mecha Bowser and climbing it to unscrew all of its arms and stuff, so that it will get destroyed and blow up. The galaxy is seriously amazing, and I love it so much. The Ghostly Galaxy. This galaxy is one of the most unique, but all I care about is how much fun it is to play, and this galaxy is a pretty good one. As you go around a twisted bridge and explore a haunted mansion, it can even turn into a boo here to go through walls, and even save your good friend Luigi, and exploring the outside of some weird ghost room is all fun. And the best part is the fight with Poltergeist. He is a massive ghost and covers himself with rocks, and you have to find black ghosts to grab their tongue and throw them at him. It's a fun fight and a fun galaxy. This next galaxy is the Beach Bowl Galaxy, and it's pretty short, but it is, guess what, beach themed, and I say in every video, beach themes are my favorite themes in any game ever. But it's too short here to put it higher, but it's so amazing, swinging around on vines, diving in water, and swimming with penguins and the corals, playing with them, and discovering a hidden cave behind a destroyable wall to find a new hidden area. And the music here is great too. I just love beach and tropical themes in video games, and it's done pretty well here, which is why I love this galaxy. The Gold Leaf Galaxy is up, and it's an inverted version of the Honey Hive Galaxy and also takes place in the fall instead, but it's pretty good galaxy exploring all the grass theme here and all, but there isn't much on the ground. Instead there's a lot of climbing to do and a lot of going around wood to get to the top of a tower and defeat a mole shooting water, but what makes it fun is the fact that you get to play as a bee again, but all your hazards are trying to avoid rain and do anything with water, which makes it the whole mole boss fight a lot of fun as well, and of course you get to explore other little areas here, which is a lot of fun to do. But Honey Hive Galaxy is still the superior version. The Melty Molten Galaxy is just the basic lava level of this game, but it does it super well, exploring the basic fire areas with geysers and other lava-like things to avoid, and there's a lot of sinking platforms, which keeps you on your crusty toes, and launching away from this volcano is pretty cool. There's also sections where you float around trying to avoid mini suns and fireballs flying around. And the end section in one of the parts of this galaxy is where you have to run up a mountain before the whole thing sinks down, and it's a lot of fun. This galaxy is one of the best lava levels in a Mario game ever. The Honey Hive Galaxy is the basic grass level of this game, but like Melty Molten, it does it super well. First of all, just running around here is a lot of fun on its own, but playing as a bee is just a ton of fun, as you get to fly around in trees and explore what seems to be a forest here. And you get to climb along honeycomb, which makes for some cool sections in this galaxy, and swinging around flowers and platforming across them is cool. There's even a weird part where the queen asks you to climb all over her body to relieve her itching and starts moaning. It's just so weird. Like, what is this, Nintendo? And the boss here is pretty cool, as you play as a bee, of course, and have to fly above a big bug to get a good shot at hitting its back. And it gets pretty hard eventually as you start doing 360s. It's a pretty fun galaxy. The Freeze Flame Galaxy. This galaxy I'm most excited for any time I replay this game. In the beginning you have an icy area where you turn into Ice Mario and can skate around water like Jesus himself, and even platform across sprinklers while using this. And you climb a giant icy mountain here and fight this ice guy, which is a lot of fun as you have to skate across water to get to him and fight him. Then the second area is a lava area where you platform across lava sections while lighting lamps to get with fire to get to new sections. It's hard to describe the lava sections here, but it's still fun. But the greatest part is when the two themes collide and you have to ice skate while avoiding literal suns crash down, and you have to play as Fire Mario without touching water and have to get across sections to light lamps to get to other areas, which is a lot of fun. But the highlight is turning into Ice Mario and skating across lava, which is some of my favorite sections here. It's an absolutely amazing and unique idea for a galaxy. It's just done so well. I absolutely love this galaxy, and that's why it's number 1 on my list. Man, this list was so difficult to make because there are galaxies equally as good, but the creativity and difference from each other makes you have to pick which one you like more, which isn't easy. But revisiting this game was fun. In my next video, we'll be doing this on the second game, so stay tuned for that. And I have 2 other ranking videos and 2 top 10s about the best Wii games and Switch games, so you should definitely go watch those. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching, so leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it just takes a couple seconds for you. It helps me out a lot, so please do so. But this video is already long enough, so I'll leave it here. Peace.